Joining us now. We make our weekly trip down to Bowie to chat with a member of the Baysox, and we've had a few conversations with this man over the years. He is Mr. Drew Rahm, and he's back with us now here on GCR. Drew, it is Glenn and Paul. It's great to chat with you, man. Thank you for taking a couple of minutes for us.
Yeah, not a problem. How are you guys doing? Been a while.
It's been a little while. Well, the last couple of years have been a little weird, bro. I know.
Oh, yeah, you're not wrong about that one.
I know. Who am I telling, obviously, but it's been a little weird. Also, I'm sure you'd rather be talking to us after, like, a 6-inning dominant start your first time out. I'm sure you're like, man, really? This is when I'm doing the call?
Yeah, but I mean, it's baseball. It happens, so
no doubt.
Only so much I can control.
What jumped out at me in your first start of the season is the strikeouts, right? Like, and I think we all know you have great velocity. I think we all know that you can overwhelm dudes. Do you feel like that's your ticket at this point? Like that your ability to get guys to swing and miss is what's going to continue to elevate you towards the major league level?
Honestly, at this point, it's really just trying to find something that works for me. And, like, right now, like, first game of the season was a strikeout and it was working. But, I mean, ultimately, it's going to be keeping the big league guys off balance and then just attacking with every pitch I got and just hoping I can get them off balance at least once or twice where they either roll over or they get a nice little strikeout. So either way, just an out and out. So
no, you're 100% right about that. There's no doubt. Give me an idea of what it is specifically. Like, do the baseball nerdy thing. You spend this off season. What is it that you're maybe trying to work into your repertoire? You're trying to focus on more. Like, as you continue to develop as a pitcher, what are the things you're like, man, I'm trying this thing out, seeing how it goes, pitch-wise?
I mean, of course, velo is always typically number one because, like, that's what everyone loves to see. But for me, like, that just went into being stronger. But for pitch-wise, it was probably just working on the changeup because I worked with Means a little bit last year, worked with Wilder a little bit. But then just ultimately just was watching videos and just kind of seeing what worked, what didn't work. And ultimately I just went with Almenga's changeup grip. And, I mean, so far it's felt pretty comfortable to me, and it's felt like it's been working for me. And I just need to get more comfortable throwing it anytime, anywhere, and just work on the consistency with it.
Drew, tell me about that time you spent with John Means. It's a really cool thing. We were just talking about guys, pretty big night in Baltimore tonight because he's pitching against Corbin Burns, and that doesn't suck. Like, that's a good night to spend at a ballpark. Tell me about that time. Like, what did you, were you close with John? Had you approach him? Like, how did that come about that you spent some time with him?
So, I mean, he was only there for, like, I think 1 or 2 days, but I mean, I was lucky enough to go in the clubhouse at the same time because, like, at that point, like, I was a little nervous to, like, even, like, talk to him because, I mean, he's Means. He's our big league all-star guy.
He's pretty good,
like, yeah, so, I mean, I was just kind of like that little kid, just nervous to talk to him, but eventually I just asked, or got the nuts to ask him about it. And I just asked him about his changeup because, like, that's what I've been struggling on. He was the most nicest, like, genuine guy that you could ever talk to. And, like, he helped me out for, like, good 5-10 minutes.
Wow.
Just kind of talking over, like, kind of what he feels, like, how he throws it, and just kind of what he thinks about.
Like a type of grip, that type of stuff?
Yeah, that type of grip and, like, kind of how it comes out of his hand and all that stuff, so.
Wow, man, that's really cool, right? Like, that's not a bad person to be able to spend a day with.
Yeah, no, I was so happy about it, and, like, honestly, I went back and told my family after that, like, hey, John Means talked to me for, like, 5 minutes, and I felt like the coolest guy ever that day, so.
Do you have to, like, do you worry about just how much of a fanboy you come off as at all, Drew? Like, are you part of you that's like, no, wait, I'm supposed to be here. I'm a top 20 prospect in this organization. Like, I don't want to come off as too much of a fanboy when somebody like this is around.
I mean, not really. Like, I mean, they were in our situation at one point, so, I mean, I think they understand that part of it and kind of understand what it means to a bunch of the guys down there, so, I mean, especially, like, high A when they're kind of just now starting out and haven't really gotten, like, around the organization that much. Yeah. But I think now it's getting a little easier to talk to some of those guys, especially when they're over at, like, big league camp or at minor league camp and all that stuff, and, like, they just got sent down. It's like Wellesley and, like, Bradish and all those guys, so talking to them has just been a lot easier and a lot more, like, personable.
It's cool. That's really cool. Drew Rahm with us here on Glenn Clark Radio. The Bowie Baysox return home next Tuesday night to open up a series with Akron. It's Military Appreciation Night on Tuesday, and then Woof Wednesday is coming up next Wednesday, where you can bring your dog to the ballpark. It's one of my favorite promotions in all of baseball, being able to bring the dogs out to the park next Wednesday for the game against Akron. You can find out more by going to Baysox.com. Drew, you know, we talk about some of the pitchers that are in this system. I'm sure you guys hear about it, right? There's this thought nationally that, like, hey, the Orioles have the bats in their system, but I'm not sure if they have enough pitching as they try to do this rebuild, right? When you hear something like that, what is your reaction to it?
I mean, it's more so that we just kind of get overlooked just because of the type of bats that we have in the system, and like how they're all basically first rounders and everything like that.
Right.
But I mean, I think a lot of our guys are very underrated in a lot of like the prospect rankings or just like nationally like being known. But I mean, I think we're going to surprise a lot of guys just based on what we do and how we get outs and just kind of what our numbers are at the end of the year.
Have you used that at all to put kind of like a chip on your shoulder? Do you guys, like make it like sort of bulletin board material to try to inspire you?
I think everyone just kind of has in their mind like, hey, we're going to go out, show these guys that they're kind of dumb, they don't know what they're missing, and just kind of go out and prove to ourselves and to them that we're better than everyone thinks that we are. And it does kind of like light the fire in ourselves too, just to go out and be the best we can.
The results for you a year ago, we referenced the first start wasn't, obviously your best, but the results a year ago were outstanding. Was there something that you did differently, or is this just, hey man, this is what I expected it to be as I continue to progress? And you almost like not want to jinx it in an off season, not want to spend too much time doing something different when you have as exceptional a year as you had between the two levels a year ago.
I mean, early on we just worked a lot mechanically, and that's kind of I think what led to that success was getting my mechanics down and finding that consistency and going out there every day and just getting better every day on the tiny little details. Now that we were kind of perfecting the issue I had with ultimately me as a pitcher was my mechanics and my inconsistencies. And I think that just really catapulted me into having that type of year. And I'm really trying to build on that success this year. First outing wasn't exactly what I wanted it to be, but there were some good things, some bad things I could take away and learn from. But ultimately, just kind of keep on the same course.
Is it a muscle memory thing at all? Is that what it is? Like you're just doing the same thing consistently, repetitively over. Like I'll make a comparison. I'm a terrible golfer, right? Like I'm a terrible golfer.
You and me both,
bro. Yeah. When I step up, like I have no idea what my body is about to do when I swing that club backwards. Like it could be anywhere. I can't. And then I'll hit the greatest swing I've ever hit in my life. And then the next one, I'll literally miss the ball the next time I swing. I'm so bad at it because I can't get myself to just do something the same way over and over again. Is it that simple when you talk about the mechanics?
I would say simple, but like when it comes down like kind of like that type of stuff, yeah, I mean it is really that simple. It is muscle memory, but it's repeating that delivery over and over for 80, 90 pitches a game. And yeah.
Dude,
I mean at that point it is muscle memory, and it's going to take a lot to keep progressing and keep that consistent.
I feel like, there's a lot of reasons why I would never be able to be a high-level pitcher like you are, but, like, one of them would be by, like, the third inning, I'd be bored. I'd be like, I just want to do something else. Maybe I'll underhand toss this one up there. It really is taxing to just keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, especially, obviously when you don't know what the results are any particular given night.
Yeah, but I mean that's kind of like the competitive nature of at least myself, and I think a lot of pitchers in this league is they just want to keep getting better and better, like pitch by pitch, not game by game, and kind of seeing their stuff versus the hitter stuff, and see who's better, and ultimately just go out there and compete and just try to beat the guy on the other side of the field.
You mentioned your do you even attempt or I'm so bad at golf that I just gave it up altogether. Do you even attempt, like, do you still play at all in the off season, or are you like the same way?
No,
dude?
yeah, no,
Okay.
I go probably every Monday during the season since that's our off days,
yeah.
And then maybe for like 9 or something like that in the morning if we ever have time. But I mean, in spring training, I was golfing probably 2 to 3 times a week.
Okay, then you can't be that bad of a golfer. Like, you might not be as good as other dudes, but there's no way, if you're playing every week, there's no way you put yourself through that type of hell if you're that bad of a golfer.
No, I shoot like a little bit below 100. Like I haven't shot over 100, I think, since last year.
Okay, dude, yeah, you're fine. Yeah, it's so funny to me when people make fun of somebody who's having a tough. Like I was watching the Masters this weekend, and everybody's like, "Oh, he's just having a terrible round." I'm like, I would kill. Like, imagine shooting an 87. It'd be the greatest day of my life.
No, yeah, no, that's a really good day for me. I think the lowest I ever shot was like an 85, and I was just
That's
all
impressive.
luck.
That's impressive, man. Shooting 85 is a big deal, bro. Like, that's impressive, man. Hey, remind me. I know because you're a Kentucky Cincinnati kid. Are you a big Bengals fan? Remind me.
So I'm a Burrow fan.
I mean, dude, it's
Yeah,
even for us, right? Like we were having this. Paul and I had this conversation a ton. It's tough because he's going to be kicking our asses for some time to come. But Jesus, he's just so likable. Like he's just
yeah.
so
No, I mean,
insanely
he's
likable.
just he's obviously like the best guy like you could ask for as a Bengals quarterback. He's like everyone loves him. I mean, no one really hates him, and I think it's just hard to hate him. But like, I mean, every time he goes out and does what he does, and he's just a good dude overall.
Yep, all of it. He's a great dude. He's so freaking fun to watch play the game, and I know that again. There's going to be more Ravens Bengals games in the coming years, and we're going to have no choice but to hate him. But like, we couldn't even root against him in the Super Bowl. Like, we're just like
No,
like
no. I think everyone just wanted the Bengals to win just because it was the Chargers or the. I know definitely in the Chiefs game, everyone was rooting for the Bengals.
yeah, oh for sure. Like we've seen enough of Patrick Mahomes. We're good, right? Like let's see
Yeah.
something else this time.
I just hope that he somehow gets out of the division so I don't have to love him from inside of a closet.
Yeah, it's tough, man. Like it's gonna be tough for years to come because that dude is so good. It's going to be brutally difficult. So if you weren't a big Bengals fan, then who were you rooting for growing up?
I was rooting up. I grew up in New York just originally, so like I grew up kind of a Giants fan.
Okay, all right.
And then when I moved to Cincy, I was a Bengals fan, and after like 3 or 4 years of just getting repeatedly let down,
Yeah,
I
it
was
was
like,
tough.
yeah,
It was
I,
a
I,
tough.
don't, I don't have a team anymore. And then got drafted by the Orioles, and now
Yeah,
I'm a Ravens fan.
I
So
love that. We love to hear. That's what we love to hear. We love to hear it. Did you maybe when you say that you saw they moved the wall back at Camden Yards on the other side? Did you think to yourself, hey, like, could you do something for the lefties too? Like, could you
I
help
mean,
us out a little bit?
that's a pretty big wall out there. I don't know if they can do that one out there.
Yeah. Oh, there's no way they could end up making it any higher for sure. There's no chance they could do something like that. All right, Drew Rom, what can we plug for you, man? Social media, Twitter, Instagram. Where can Orioles fans be giving you a follow?
I mean, Twitter, Instagram, and it's pretty much the same thing. Drew10Rom on Instagram and Drew_Rom10 on Twitter.
Very cool. Give him a follow there. Drew Rom, again, as I mentioned, the Baysox are going to be home again next week starting Tuesday night for 6 games against Akron. You can make sure you get your tickets, baysox.com, and Woof Wednesday. Also, there's a mystery bobblehead giveaway next Friday, the 22nd. Fireworks night next Saturday, and a halfway to Halloween celebration as well. Again, baysox.com to get your tickets. Drew, it's always great to catch up with you, man. May that incredible success you felt a year ago continue to move you forward, and may we be chatting with you again soon as you are getting ready to make your debut up here in Baltimore. Thanks for taking the time for us.
Thank you guys. I really appreciate it, and it was a lot of fun.
Drew Rom, Bowie Baysox, great dude. Always appreciate him taking the time.